Greg Gomez III.
Hi.
Super successful internet marketer.
That's my mom tells me.
Yeah. I got lucky that I have several minutes with him, right? So if you could share with the viewers that don't know who you are,
Okay.
your story, how it all started, and
Okay, and I'm going to speak up because we got some loud stuff around here. My name is Greg Gomez III. I'm a founder and CEO of MLMBusinessBlueprint.com. I've been online training networkers since 2003, 2004, how to use proper business marketing and sales strategies in improving their businesses, adding dozens of people a week. Some of my students have added, in their first year, added over $100,000 in revenue into the businesses, add as many as 20 to 30 people a week into their teams. My claim to fame was after learning the strategies, non-traditional network marketing stuff, I built telemarketing rooms, and I applied the telemarketing principles that I learned in telemarketing to my next business venture. And in 6 weeks, I went from $7 an hour as an employee to building a team that added over, I added personally about 23 people a week in less than 6 weeks. And in less than 6 months, I built a team that added over 250 people a week into my organization. It's a tiny little startup company. In less than 2 years, I was earning over $60,000 a month, and did extremely well with it. And then I went into direct response marketing and applied those strategies into coaching, and have been training ever since. And that was about 2004. So currently, I run coaching and training seminars and coaching programs and coaching systems for networkers and home business owners. And my current rates right now are $2,000 an hour for consulting, $20,000 for actually viewing at a project and actually kind of pricing it out. And I don't take on many clients because I'm lazy.
That's awesome. So if you could share with us, when people just come online and they start out, what they should start with. You know, it's so overwhelming. Oh, you gotta do this, and everything.
Yeah. I kind of tell folks to simplify. I mean, there's so many different. The first thing I do is I tell folks you got to understand, you got to break things down into 3 criteria. There is most 3 critical elements to building a successful marketing campaign, and it's these 3 things. First, you have to identify who are you talking to, who's your market share. It's not just, you know, if you're going to promote the business opportunity, it's not just other networkers, but other networkers in what specific type of company. Other networkers in what specific type of company and what was their challenge in that company. Was it there wasn't enough upline support? Was there not, you know, the products couldn't sell, they couldn't make the product work, they didn't have a warm market. What was their main challenge? And when you can really dial in who that market is, and I'm a big advocate for leading with products and services. I've always led with products and services. I found that was way more effective for me.
Then compared to what?
The opportunity, the business opportunity.
Right.
I always lead with product services, like 80% of my messaging, and then 20% is dedicated to, oh yeah, there's this opportunity for you, so if you like it, cool. And I look to create raving lunatic fans of my products and services first. And that way, if they're not successful on the networking side, they're still enjoying the use of the product, and it doesn't kill my residual checks. So for me, that's always been my approach. But whoever it is, you got to understand who that market is, who are you talking to. The second thing then is all about messaging. What do you say to that group to get them interested, fired up, excited about what it is you have to offer? Not what you think they should be interested in, but what they actually want. And when you focus your message on what their needs and desires are and what their benefits have to be, you wind up creating a much more effective sales message. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's the first 2 things. Third thing then is your delivery mechanism. How do you put your message in front of that target market? So what is it you're doing that delivers it? So you can use radio, television, newspaper, magazines, 3-way calls, house parties, hotel meetings, whatever. The internet's big. You can use pay-per-click. You can use social media. You can use. Those are all just delivery systems. And I see the big challenge for a lot of newbies and networkers and anybody really in business is they're so overwhelmed and kind of beaten by this is the latest strategy, this is the latest thing you got to do for marketing, Facebook, Twitter, whatever's new right now, Pinterest I'm dating it now, but whatever that new thing is, which is awesome, but the problem with that is that if you don't know who you're talking to and you don't know what your market or your message is, or what that market needs to hear in order to be interested and excited about your offer, it doesn't matter what you're promoting. It doesn't matter how you're putting that message in front of that target market. It could be smoke signals. It doesn't matter. Once you do know who your market is and what they need to know and what they want to hear, then it's easy. You can pick any medium. So anytime there's a new thing that comes out, I kind of let everybody else figure it out first. And
Try it out.
Awesome, cool. That's how it works. Cool. Now give it to me. I know who I'm talking to. I know what I'm saying. So then it just becomes a natural, immediate success revenue stream for us without having to worry about trying to figure stuff
out. Greg, so when again you said that target market is fine, but when they choose, I hear Ray Higdon says blogging is your real estate.
Yeah.
Some people choose, oh, we'll just do Facebook, we'll just do YouTube. What's your advice?
I'm gonna be. I just talked to Ray the other day. We actually did a brief interview for his program promotion, and I think we ended up 19th overall in the contest.
Yeah,
so
congratulations.
that was lower than I wanted to be. But I beat Jeff. Steve, hi Jeff.
And because you offered cool bonuses, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of, the challenge for my offering was, this total off tangent, but I announced my bonuses late, so a bunch of people were like, oh, why didn't you say that earlier so we could have bought? It's like, okay, bad marketing.
Yeah, I saw the messages.
So that was that. But so Ray's thing is Ray. Here's the thing I always say: you show me 100 millionaires, and I'll show you 100 different ways they got there. Okay. So Ray's thing is blogging, which is awesome. I love it. I think it's one of the things we haven't done very well. I haven't done very well at all. So if you go to my blog, you'll be very disappointed to see it's kind of an ugly blog. It's not very well kept.
Okay.
And the biggest reason is because my thing is engagement. I love doing things where I'm actually talking to people on a consistent basis. The downside to things like Facebook, which has a high level of engagement, because people are there already, so it's very little for them human nature-wise to move away from that to have to go to a blog.
Okay.
It's high engaging, but it's also high distraction.
Right.
So the challenge with it is that you might get their attention for just a bit, then another message comes in, and then they chase off whatever shiny over here.
Yeah.
So I like driving traffic to static sales funnels, lead generation capture pages, and that are concentrated at, give me your contact info first, and then I email market to them on a pretty consistent basis. And then on the other extreme, you have a guy like Dagan Smith, who's a good friend of mine, and Dagan will mail every day, twice a day, consistently. He always makes money when he does it. The two problems is I'm inconsistent, so that gives a problem to blogging. And the second thing is for email marketing, after a while it can be inconsistency. Then if you just kind of slam them with a bunch of emails and take a break and slam a bunch of emails, it throws off what their expectations are. So there's no congruency, there's no consistency. So to answer your question, yes, your blog is your real estate. I also think that's changing, though, as the media changes. People are now accessing the internet more through their phone than they are an actual computer. There are certain things you can only do on a computer versus your cell phone. So blogs, unless they're specifically optimized for that and they create an experience that is a mobile experience and engages them in a way that they're going to be able to interact with that, I think that could be something that, I don't want to say it necessarily dies, but is not at the forefront of what's being done. So I agree with Ray. I think we've done a really bad job of what Ray has said. On the other side of that, I also think you have to be mindful of how it is you're speaking your message, being aware of the distraction level and the engagement level. And I think that's a fusion between, like, Facebook groups right now for us. We love Facebook groups. They're an easy way to communicate. They're high engagement and they're very focused. Especially when you couple them with driving them to some specific funnel or blog page or whatever it is. What Ray does real well is he drives traffic from his blog, so that's one thing we don't do very well. So we've actually made a dedication. I made the decision, basically tell my team, okay, we got to go do blogging because I suck at it and I got to put people at it because it obviously works very well. It's not one of my strengths. It's a long answer for a short question.
Okay, another thing is overcoming objections. Like
this I know.
So what's your advice for?
Well, you get a stick. No, just kidding. Objection handling for me is, as I said, I got my start in marketing years ago, and I developed a system. It's an 8-step process. It's all about handling objections, and the root of it is that I call at the center of what you do in objection handling is truth seeking. So a lot of times we get this objection, and the most common one that people say is like, it's just a pyramid scheme, right? And so the standard pat answer is to come back with some type of objection or rebuttal that says, well, even your job is a pyramid scheme. You got your boss at the top, and you got management, and you got the employees down here, so it's a big pyramid scheme. The choice is which one do you want to be in. Blah blah blah. I think that line sucks. I don't like it. I never thought it was good. because it doesn't deal with a real issue.
Right.
Objections, when a prospect gives you an objection, they're rooted in one of two main areas. It's either that they're skeptical, that they're just fearful of what it is they're hearing, or confused, which is another form of skepticism, or they just don't have the money, or there's some obstacle they believe is stopping them from participating in it. And they will give you one of 2 or 3 types of responses. The first type is a smokescreen objection, like, I need to think about it, or I need to talk to my friends, or let me go do some more research, or can you send me some more information, or all these things are smokescreen objections, right? Let me, I can't talk right now, I've got something that came up, let me go do that first, and then I'll talk to you. Call me back next week, let me think about it is one of the big ones. I never make a decision over the phone or right away, I need some time to think about it. Those are all put-offs. And underneath that is what I call the root objection. Okay, so imagine a tree. I don't have one I can grab here. I would, but so I'm going to get on a screen. Hold on a second.
Okay. It's a pretty one too.
Provided by the Biltmore. So this is a rebuttal, or excuse me, an objection. So our prospect says something to the effect of, I don't have the money, or I don't have time, or I need to think about it, kind of thing, right? Well, really what they are is all these things are the real rebuttals that they're giving us. These are the rebuttals they're giving. So it's, I need to think about it, I need to, talk to my wife, I don't have the money right now, whatever it is. And we can address these all we want and take them off.
Right.
But the plant's still going to grow. The rebuttal is still going to flourish, or the objection is still going to flourish. What we need to do in order to take this out, much more like a weed, not one of these pretty things, is we got to get to the root objection, which is underneath here.
Inside.
Okay. So now that I've used it, I don't need it anymore. Now it's just getting in your way, so I'm going to put it off to the side, okay? So that's basically, I'll wait till she comes back. So the key to objection handling is to identify what the root issue is. So if they're saying I need time to think about it, okay, that's fine. I immediately remove the pressure from the sales process and say, okay, it's not mandatory you do it. You don't have to take advantage of it. It's totally fine. It's just that when we talked earlier, you said this was something that was really important to you. You really wanted to create some extra income, get in better health, lose weight, whatever the benefit is of the product or service, right? Or the opportunity. And so is that something you wanted, or did you not want that thing? No, I wanted that thing. It's just that, and then they bring up the real root objection. Okay, so let's look at that. Is that the only thing stopping you from taking action today? Well, yeah, basically. Okay, so if we can fix that, you're saying then this is something you want to do? Well, yeah, but I don't know how we're going to fix it. Okay, set that aside for a second. Let's just assume we can. Is it something you want? Do you even want this? Well, yeah, I do. Okay, great. Well, so if we fix this, then you're in. Yeah, well, let's fix this. And then you get it resolved, objection. That's when you rebut. So many times, the success in objection handling is in the setup. It's on identifying what the real issue is. Because too many times, they'll say it's this, and we shoot for that, but it's really this thing over here. And so they give us all this other surface stuff, but we really got to identify this first. What is the real issue? Right. Because once that's figured out, the rest of it's easy. Then you solve for X, whatever X is.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mathic way to do it, but it's easy. Then you just say, does that make sense? Is that clear? You see how it works?
Yeah.
See how your head's nodding up and down? Great. How do you want to pay today? Is it Visa, MasterCard, American Express?
How much did you say? 2,000 per 15 minutes?
Yeah, $2,000 an hour. So.
Oh, an hour. Okay.
But since Jane rocks, we're just doing this.
Oh, yeah. I rock. See, Craig said so. So when people start and they don't see the money right away in network marketing, it's kind of, they don't see the bigger picture. Even though they want it, now they don't have any objections. They accumulation of.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. So, right. How do you keep people engaged for a period of time unless they see the results? Because it's not right away, right?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Even in our training programs, a lot of times the key to keeping a person long term is that we measure as networkers, we measure, I did this thing and I didn't make money. That's how we gauge success, right? So I did all this stuff and I didn't get any new money in my account. Well, the challenge with that thought process is that's an employee mindset. I go to work, I work for a few hours, and I got a check. That's how it works. In the new economy and in network marketing, we're not in that exchange of time for money. But we try to apply that to network marketing, any kind of business running. That's just not the way it is. The reality is that we're in a results and performance-based economy once we become an entrepreneur. So what does that mean? That means that what we produce actually produces results in our business. Now, we have stages of results that we get. So one of the things I always give examples of is, did you ever watch Tom and Jerry cartoons? I just watched some.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry.
Okay, Tom and Jerry, okay.
The cat and the mouse.
The cat and the mouse, right.
Yeah.
So Tom the cat would sit there and grab the water hose, and he's going to go stuff it down the hole, and he's going to, flush out the mouse.
Okay.
Well, little did he know the mouse tied a knot in the hose, right?
Okay.
So the cat turns on the faucet, runs over there, and no water comes out. Drip, drip. No money, right? Same as business. That hose is your business.
Okay.
All right? So he's wondering what's going on until there's a big backup, and then it explodes, and everybody gets wet, right? Okay. So in business, it works much the same way as that hose. So you have your lead source, your market selection. You turn the faucet on. You go to your capture page. Well, that's not working. It's got a bunch of holes in it. Well, of course, there's no money coming out this end. So you fix that. Then the next section is your, your video presentation, your next step, whatever that is. Then it's your prospecting script. Then it's your presentation for your opportunity or product or service. Then it's your objection handling process. Then it's your closing skill set. Then it's your engagement. Then it's your leadership and all these other things that go into that, right? So we're turning the faucet on to go, and then we go run to the end like the cat. We're expecting to see something happen, but there's all these knots in our hose. So for the new person, the thing is that you have to do is you have to manage your own expectations and say, okay, I'm going to track my results. So as a real static example, not so 30,000 feet view, the prospecting script, right? I get a script and we go through the first paragraph. I can't get anybody to agree to come to the next step. So I spend a lot of time when I coach folks and I work for telemarketing rooms on that first paragraph. It's the most important paragraph in your entire process. It sets the tone for everything. You do that wrong, you've got the wrong trajectory, it's just all off. Nothing works after that. That has to be right. So 80% of my effort is that. And they'll say, I paid you $20,000 for an opening paragraph. I say, yep. Now use it and see what happens. And then they use it and it makes them a ton of money and they're like, oh, why? Well, the reason is because that establishes that opening of the faucet and it's the first step in your process. Then everything after that we have to go back and look at. So when we're improving our success, we look at, I dialed the phone 100 calls and I didn't get any money, okay? So you got to break that down. You made 100 dials, how many contacts did you get? Okay? Then how many conversations did you actually engage in? Out of those conversations, how many of them did you actually get past that first paragraph? Then after those first paragraphs, how many of them actually agreed that they not only had interest in what you had to offer, but they wanted to take your next step? Then, how many of those that said they wanted to take your next step actually went to the next step? Okay. And then out of those that went to the next step, how many of them contacted you back? So we're saying I did 12 hours of dialing and I got nothing. But what they don't see is in that 12-hour time frame, they've gotten better at that opening paragraph. They've gotten better at getting a person at determining interest. They've gotten better at inviting a person. They've gotten better at getting a person to go. Maybe they still need to develop getting them to call them back. Then it's the objection handling process. Then it's blah, 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 the rest of the steps. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and the paragraph will be included as a bonus. Click the button below. All the words and stuff.
So that, I mean, this is our marketing funnel. And so what happens is a lot of networkers, a lot of newbie business owners, not even networkers, I'm not just picking on them, but anybody that comes from that employee mindset to entrepreneurialism, they come in and they say, I'm going to get it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do awesome, and then they go out there and they blow all this energy at it. They don't track anything, they don't measure anything, so they don't see what did actually improve, and as a result, I got no results, so I quit. So for all you kids watching at home, take notes, track everything you're doing, and improve your measurements from there. And just measuring, I think it was Peter Drucker that said, you can't improve what you don't measure. Just the simple act of measuring.
By measuring, how do you measure?
You just take tabs of, I did X number of dials, I got X number of contacts, I got X number of people that I actually talked to in my first paragraph, and you just look for ways to improve those specific steps. Okay. And as long as you're tracking, and like a web page, for example, we test headlines, right? So we say headline A, who else wants to add 5, 10, 20, 30 people a week in their network marketing businesses, right? That's one of mine. Versus B, which is proven network marketing strategies for ADC business owners. So we split test and see which one works better. Everything else is the same, we just split test those two things, right? Well, I did the same thing although I do those same things on my internet stuff, I did a lot of that stuff in telemarketing. I can tell every single word that works and what doesn't work and how to make sure that it funnels correctly and postures and frames a person correctly. Because I had telemarketing teams that we split test scripts with this and that. And so to answer your question, how do you track it, is you just keep tabs of what the number of dials are, what they are, and then you split test. You make one variable change, one offer change, one way of greeting, just slightly different. And eventually, just by doing that and sticking with the winner, you eventually wind up creating a better result for yourself. So it takes time.
Yeah. So everything we've talked about so far, it was all technical, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about mindset.
Okay.
How do you apply that? Do you believe in that? Mindset
Yes.
is important.
Yes, I'm a firm believer that there's so much good mindset training out there. You got Tony Robbins, you got Jim Rohn, you got all kinds of, and I'm sure a million others I can't even think of right now. Brian Tracy is one of my favorites. Great sales trainer, great sales psychology trainer, and on and on. In our industry, you know, actually Jonathan Budd, a great buddy of mine, I think Jonathan is probably one of the best at the mental side of training out there. I'm a firm believer in mental side of things, being clear on understanding your purpose and goal setting and all of those other things. There's just a lot of stuff out there. So I've always directed my business at the technical stuff because it always seems to me that people are like, no, okay, yeah, I got it. I'm going to be a success. I know the secret. I've seen it a million times, but how do I actually make it manifest? Well, that's through work, and this is the work, and this is how you measure the work, and this is how you improve the work. However, that being said, and being asked the direct question, I'm a firm believer in mindset. A lot of times when I do individual coaching sessions, our first session is usually dedicated to strictly, you know, what's wrong with you? I love you, what's wrong with you kind of thing.
That's a good line. That's a good question.
It is. Okay, so, you know, people, a lot of times people, especially high-level performers, they already know what they want to do. They already know how to do it. They just aren't, and for whatever reason, they're justifying all this other stuff to stop them to get it done. Vince Reed, a great guy, I wound up meeting him for the first time at No Excuses, and we had a conversation, and he basically kind of said something in passing, and at that time, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know how effective he was. He runs a company by the name of Net Divvy. Hey, Vince, if you're watching. And he does extremely well. I didn't notice at the time, but he was telling me some things that I heard mental, like, kind of stalls in, and I just immediately pulled him up and said, okay, so you're saying this, but I'm hearing you say this other thing, and you're not doing these things over here. Why? And basically just kind of punched at him for a good 30 minutes. He was a good sport about it, and so he's told me he went back and immediately started putting things together and improved and started drastically increasing the reach of what he was doing because of that. So mental mindset is a big thing, but the thing for me is, where is it you're finding your limitations? And the quickest thing is procrastination. We all procrastinate. We all do it. We all do it. So the key to procrastination is identifying why am I procrastinating. It's not even why, it's just what am I procrastinating at? And what's the biggest thing that I'm stalling on? And if you can focus to get that one thing done first, you'll have a bigger mental breakthrough than just about any other kind of mental training I've ever seen. So.
And for me, it was like, you know, if you're not expecting a good result in your mindset, you say, oh, forget it.
Yeah.
What's the point of even doing it? So in taking the actions, you know, when your mind is right, so I'll do it and hope for the best.
Exactly. And, you know, I often tell a lot of folks is that there's a lot about success mindset. I'm going to be a success. I'm going to do it wrong. And they wind themselves up. And then they go out there and they do it, and then they get a setback or failure. And it's like, they're just, right? And they give up completely. Just, it's not working.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. For me, I think that having that whole success rah-rah mindset actually contributes to people quitting.
Okay.
It's because they're expecting. Their expectations are way so high that they don't achieve it. Now, on the other side of that spectrum is, I don't expect it to be a success, and I'm a failure, and blah. So that's the inner self-confidence, inner self-belief. They don't believe themselves worthy. And the other side is like, you know, so confident I'm going to do it. They're just kind of ignorant to reality almost.
Okay. Yeah. So you haven't find the middle.
You got to find the middle ground. So for me, that's why I teach a lot about here's how you test stuff. You're going to fail your way to success. And I don't know anybody, I mean nobody yet, I've met in this industry who got it right the first time. Not one. None of the success stories I've ever read, the first time out they were a success. And if they were, they never had long-term success because they didn't understand what it was like to struggle and to appreciate that level of success once they had it. They didn't have the life lessons they needed for survival. It's like animals in evolution and survival of the fittest. You got a broken wing in your marketing process, guess what? You're going to be bird food for a cat if you don't fix that, or if you don't evolve past it or learn to get past it. So for me, I often tell my students, you're going to fail, you're going to fail hard. You want to get it early and fast out of the way. You want to control those failures so you're not betting the house on it. Don't be stupid.
Right.
And then, track and measure, figure out what worked, what didn't work, separate the good from the bad, do it again, It's time improving the rest of the process, and eventually you wind up getting results. And it's, I'd love to make it more, and you can do
it's
it.
like the kid trying to walk, right?
Yeah.
Falls, stands up, falls.
That's exactly it. Now, one last thing I will say about motivation is this, is that one thing that I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing, because we're really hard on ourselves, because we hold ourselves accountable and it's our responsibility. And the thing is, we take responsibility, and that's good, but that can be, in its extremes, it can be bad, in that we beat ourselves up over our failures, right? We got to get them, see them, okay, screwed up, totally fine, let's move on, and start figuring out how to fix it.
And laugh in the process, you know. Laugh at your mistakes.
Gotta have fun. Yeah. It might not be funny at first, but trust me, after a while, you're like, remember that one time I was like crying, sobbing, ha ha ha, it was hilarious. So what I always tell people is that if you've got, I don't know if you have any kids or you have nieces, okay, so you got kids. So when your kid was learning how to ride the bike, right? And they fell and skinned their knee. Did you berate them and tell them you can't do it, and like, why are you doing it? You're never going to be a success. You didn't do that, right?
Right. Try again.
Yeah, we encourage them to get up, kiss the boo-boo, condole them a little bit, get on it, try again. It's very important to get on and try it again, because if they let that fear stop them from getting on, they'll never learn how to do it. And then they'll never experience that freedom and sheer joy of actually pedaling a bike all by their own, right? Awesome stuff. Love my kids. They're the best. So I always tell folks that you have that same child inside of you. You're talking to that inner kid, right? It's kumbaya time. So what winds up happening is that when you see a setback, or you see a challenge, it's important you don't beat yourself up. You just say, okay, it happened, I acknowledge it, here's where I made mistakes. Okay, we can do it, let's get on it, let's try it again, and let's go after it and do things differently this time. Taking what worked, ditching what didn't, and trying it.
And also not blaming everybody else.
Well, accepting, that's the first step. It's accepting responsibility. It's nobody's fault but my own. All the good stuff in my life, my fault. All the bad stuff in my life, my fault. And that's hard for people to do. It's really
pointing
hard.
Fingers, everybody wants to point fingers.
It's easy to say Google slapped me, so it's Google's fault. Facebook changed their marketing principles, so it's their fault. It's I thought of this idea first, but somebody went to market with it before me. So you know what? Tough, man. It's business, and it's okay, sorry it felt that way, but get up and get going again, or get out of the way for the rest of us to make it work. And that's just business. And it's a big challenge, especially in network marketing, because we're all told everybody can do it. Everybody can be a success. Everyone has the opportunity to be a success. Everyone has the potential to be successful. Doesn't mean necessarily they're going to have the perseverance and the stick-to-itiveness, or the too stupid to quit, as I call it. You got to be too stupid to quit. As long as you have that, and you learn from your mistakes, you eventually can get there. Not everybody has that, and that's the rarity. That's the thing that I look for in people when I'm sponsoring.
The importance of live events and networking.
Very important. I'll tell you a long story and pretend it's short. Okay. So I got asked to be a founding member of a training organization back in 2004 for networkers. It was in 2003 actually, but I turned it down because my consultant was very busy. I eventually saw the good they were doing. I came on board, helped build a multi-million-dollar training organization. Before any other training organization was out there, we were kind of like the original skill set training system for networkers. It was very, very well received, made millions and millions of dollars. It was a great program. However, the culture in this organization, and in my mindset, was don't tell anybody else what you're doing, because I was kind of the leader of the pack internet-wise at the time. Nobody was doing really branded funnels, so I was. I might be corrected by some other speakers out there or other promoters, but as far as 2004, early 2004, I was the first person that put me and my message, and instead of the main company stuff, it was me. It was branding me, basically. I was one of the first to start doing that in our niche. So, and anytime I did this and I started adding new things, it seemed like everybody else started coming right behind me. So I had to innovate faster than others could replicate. And as a result of that, I kind of shelved myself off and said, I don't need to talk to other folks, because I was the premier guy. I was King Kong back then. Did very well. Okay, and I was modest about it, obviously. So, long story short, or medium-sized, was that this was the culture. I didn't share with other folks, didn't meet other people, and so a couple of years later, I started seeing like Dillard come on and Tim Orway and Magnetic sponsoring, and then I saw guys start springing up from that, because their culture was very share and let's all do. I'm going to show you guys how to do all this stuff, and let's all share with each other. And it wasn't a it was a very what's the word I'm looking for? It was a very robust not a I can't think. I hate when I can't think of a word. It wasn't an impoverished mindset. It was a very abundance mindset. That's what I was looking for. So they were sharing and all that stuff. Where in my culture and the group that we were part of, they were telling us, no, don't do that. And we would see that happen. It's like we would share it, and other people, even within our own group, would do it. And it was like, all right, kind of get grumbly about it. Then I saw this kid, punk kid, come on, hello, my friend's Jonathan Budd come up. And I'm like, who's this guy? He's a dork. What is this all about? So I didn't pay attention to anybody. About 2008, I left the industry. I decided my youngest was being born. I wanted to stay home for 2 years with him and just kind of not do anything at all. I was kind of tired. I'm like, I'm just going to focus on him for a bit. Supported my main teams, but I didn't actively promote anymore. And MLSP was just coming on board. 2 years later, after he started school, I started looking around and I saw everybody. I mean, I didn't realize how big they'd gotten. Yeah, and Jonathan was doing a promo for. I think it was the launch formula, with Mark Hoverson and him. And I said, okay, I need to get, and I realized at the time, crap, I did this wrong. I thought I was an island all in myself, and I have to start over and start fighting for space. And I quickly realized that if I start doing that, where I was the leader before, now I'm just another name out there saying, hey, I'm cool, look at me, pay attention to me. And so I realized, I said, that's not going to work. Not as quickly and effectively as I want. I'm going to have to fight for too much space. So I said, okay. And the bigger question I asked was, am I relevant? There's a lot. I started looking at people's stuff. I'm like, holy crap, this is good. Their stuff is really good. Am I necessary? Is what I have to provide even, is there space for me in this market share? If not, I have to choose a different market and go dominate that because I've dominated here for so long. So I said, okay, I want to meet these guys. No Excuses 1 came up. I said, I want to meet these guys. So I'm going to go to that event. But they were doing Jonathan's event. Or for his launch and Mark Hoverson's launch. I said, okay, let me see if I still can drive some traffic. So I sent a couple of emails, and I jumped like to 18th place in the overall thing. And I'm thinking back to it, I probably could have placed top 10 at least had I done a whole bonus packet, all this other stuff. I did. I got 18th place. So I wound up going to No Excuses, and I got up and I met Jonathan. I went out there like, someone was walking away just as I got a chance to go up to him and talk to him. He's like, I know who you are. And we wound up talking. I met Norbert Orlowitz there, and he's like, I know who you are. I've seen all your ads on Facebook. I know that, I've seen you from before. And I wound up meeting a couple of key players there that I would not have met had I not gone to those events. Fast forward a couple of years, working on some projects with Jonathan. I'm working with a few other key players in the industry. I went to No Excuses 3. I was nominated to the expert panel. I wound up winning that event. I wound up making connections with, you name it. Mark Hoverson spoke at a couple of his things. Matt Lloyd's a great guy. He's with Jonathan Budd's group. Dagan Smith, and spoke on stage next to Dagan. So on and on and on and on. So how important...
How is it important?
How important is it to go to live events?
Yeah.
Literally turned our business from having to struggle to do all the stuff again, which we could do and do very well, to fast forward within a couple of years building the business. It was just as big as we were before versus the 6 or 7 years we've taken beforehand to do it. In fact, far exceed that, because now I get to meet wonderful folks like yourself and share as much content as I possibly can, and it's much easier than going out there trying to fight for market share and say, no, not them, me, and giving a more abundance type of mindset. So I think that going to events and being able to make those personal connections and talk to folks, it's unreplaceable.
Right. I mean, you can see the people. It's not somewhere out there, and you don't want to hide in the corner as well. So you want to come up and share your things and stuff. So.
Absolutely. And you get a sense of, when you hang up the phone and it's done. And I built some great relationships over the phone. My director of operations, I didn't wind up meeting until like 3 or 4 years ago. He'd worked with me for like 5 years prior.
Oh, okay.
So we've never just met anyplace like, just because I'm kind of recluse and I like staying home. That's just the way it is. But now, I used to do speaking before. I used to travel a lot, but then I had the kids, and I didn't really want to go anywhere. I'm a real family-centered guy. I want to be around my kids all the time, especially my youngest. He's just my little tail. He won't fall off of me. So it's hard for me to do that. As they're getting older and like, okay, Dad, we don't really need you around as much. Like, okay, what do I do? It's like, now I get to go and do all the live events and travel more. And I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, but it's irreplaceable. You have to go out, you have to connect, you got to meet people, you got to shake hands, you got to really see the look of a person and see if it's something you want to do in business with. Because in this industry, all you have is your reputation. So if you do create joint venture partnerships and you partner with the wrong people, it can be detrimental to your reputation, and that's all that you have. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg.
There's a sharp point. I'm sorry. That was the price you paid for the interview. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh. my god.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself too bad.
Uh,
You're gonna have to go to the hospital.
I know.